Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be playing with a couple of my Midas Cosmetics palettes. We'll be playing around with the Midas Cosmetics Flower Bomb palette and the Lemonade palette. Here is what both look like. So this is the Flower Bomb, just super pretty, nice kind of rainbowy shades. And then also is the Lemonade palette. So just a lot of yellows, very lemonade shades, and super bright, as you can see, very impactful both palettes are. But yeah, if you enjoy this look, go ahead and stay tuned for the video. Please give me a like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, and I'm just really happy to have you here. So let's get on with the video, and we're going to go ahead and zoom on in a little bit. So to start off the look, I'm just taking the e.l.f. Putty Primer in the shade White. Just going to go ahead and lightly buff that over my eye. This primer, what do you call it? I feel like I like it a lot better when I use a thin layer of it. It's a very stiff product, which is interesting. And I've noticed using a brush, I like it a lot more. But I've realized, you're going to feel like you're not getting much, but you actually are getting some. Alright, so now that we are nice and primed, I'm going to go ahead and dip into this, I believe it's Dahlia shade. It's like this deeper red. That's a lie. Hold up. What I actually did on the other side is I used these KVD, these brow pomade things. This is in the shade Scarlet. I've had it forever and I've really struggled with how to use it. But I used it as a base just to make the shade a little more pigmented, and I really liked it. So I'm going to pick up some of that using the Morphe M506 brush, so kind of just a smaller, tiny, fluffy brush. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that into the crease. I'm kind of going to, as I normally do with the cut crease, applying it around where I want the cut crease to be. So after that, I'm just going to take a Morphe M456, so a slightly other dome brush. I'm going to use that just to buff out the edges of the makeup. Wipe off my brush a little bit, just on a towel or something. We're going to go ahead and dip into this yellow shade from the Lemonade palette. I believe this shade is Frozen. And I'm just going to start buffing around the edge just to get everything kind of blended. These shades blend so well over this base. I'm going to go ahead and jump back into the Flower Bomb palette, taking the shade Lily, which is just a white. So any white or close to your skin tone shade, you can always take the yellow up to the brow bone if you want to. But I'm just doing this. Cool. Okay. So let's go ahead, dipping back into the Dahlia shade, and I'm just going to start kind of tracing my shape. Wipe off the brush again. I'm going to go ahead and dip into Daffodil. I'm going to go ahead and use same brush, basically just going between. I love how easy this kind of just blends together. Cool. Okay, I think we're going to dip back into the same brush we used in the beginning, the Morphe M456, that little kind of fluffy dome brush, back into that yellow, the Frozen shade, just to really kind of buff everything together. And I think really just taking your time is going to be a big thing. Sometimes just taking that extra minute just to soften everything really helps. Okay, so next we're just going to go ahead and cut our crease. I'm just going to be using a Morphe M224 brush and just some foundation. All that I use is just the I Am Magic foundation from Juvia's Place. I'm just going to apply some of it to my eyelid like usual. Look up. Okay, so let's take again the Morphe M431, that small dome brush, dip it back into Dahlia. I'm going to start building up my outer corner. And then I'm kind of trying my best to lay it down more diagonally. Back into Daffodil, do the exact same thing. I think I'm aiming for kind of my pupil here. I'm going to go ahead and use the Morphe M152. It basically is a fluffier flat brush. We're using the shade Squeeze, which is a shimmery yellow shade. And I'm going to just start putting that on the inner portion of the eye. Look, isn't this like the prettiest like lemon yellow? And I'm kind of just taking that same brush and just trying to blend the shades in a little bit, take a little bit into daffodil. I did also pop in a little bit of the shade Sweet, which is this lighter gold, I don't know, into the inner portion of the eye. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with that pencil brush, the M431, and a bit more of Dahlia, the deeper red, just to reestablish the lines of the cut crease, just to make sure that it's staying really pigmented and really bold. Also, I'm just going to use a little bit of this Sunshine Yellow glittery shade. I'm not a huge, pressed glitter fan, but as you know, I'm trying to use up my makeup. Pressed glitters are part of that. Let me go ahead and clean up my outer edge real quick. Okay, so I went ahead and cleaned it up. Alright, the liquid liner I'm using right now, this is just a random L'Oreal. There's like no label on it. It's gonna go ahead and try to draw on a wing. Love that. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and apply the rest of my foundation. Okay, so now that we did that, I'm gonna go ahead and take that same random angled brush that I used before. I think we're going to dip back into Dahlia. And I'm just going to run that along the lower lash line. Next, let's go ahead. I'm going to take our little pencil brush, so the Morphe M431, dipping into Daffodil, running that right underneath, starting to soften it. Next, I am dipping into the Frozen Yellow shade with the same brush. Okay, I'm going to go and apply some mascara real quick. I'm just using CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara in the shade Very Black. I'm going to apply this first before curling my lashes. Okay, so while that is drying, what we're going to go ahead and do real quick is just kind of sculpt our face. I'm not great at this, but I'm using NYX Taupe Blush. I'm using this Wet n Wild angled brush like a lot of people do, and we're just going to go ahead and kind of try to do a contour shape. Let's do the same thing on our jawline. I want to use a blush. I want to use this one, Contortion, from the It's Likely Makeup Clown Blush Palette. Just a little something there. I'm just gonna buff this out. And the one thing I actually did today is I hate, it's way too dry for me. Airspun powder, I never liked this. This stuff was so dry as hell for me. But I have it. I'm trying to use it. So we're going to take our same sponge. Now, I'm kind of stamping the product because obviously my face grows hair. I'm going to take this deepest brown shade. Same or like kind of contour brush. I really hope I don't get like too much of this. I know it's not the same as this side, but whatever. And then for highlight, which you can kind of see a little bit, I use this old, nobody talks about this, but this used to be a thing forever ago, the Sleek Makeup Palette, highlighting palette Solstice. It's Jaclyn Hill used to talk about this, and like, what happened? Nobody talks about it. And it's actually still good. I don't know if they still make those, let's hope they do. I'm taking this shade. I'm using this Morphe JS4 brush, just to kind of dot the highlighter on. I don't want to be too crazy. Alright, so now that our mascara is applied, I'm just going to curl my lashes. I'm just going to go and apply some lashes using Duo Lash Glue, which is what I like using right now. These are honestly some random lashes I've had forever. So let's go ahead and talk about the rest of my face. On the lips, I am just wearing Sugar Pills liquid lipstick in the shade 0. Let's dust off our bake that we got going on here. Hi everyone, so we have made it to the end of this video playing around with a couple of my Midas Cosmetics palettes. I am very impressed with these palettes. These are so cool. I have been playing with them for about a week going on now. Feel free to follow me on Instagram if you're ever curious. It's just Remove Makeup 01. And it is always linked down in my description. Right now what I've been doing is basically having week-long playing with brands that I have of their palettes or whatever. So I did, right now I'm doing a week of Midas. It is going to be probably last week, basically when you see this video come out. But yeah, I think it's super exciting. I'm really loving it. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, I would love it if you gave me a like, a comment, subscribe. I'm really trying to create awesomeness here and just really having fun with it. But anyways, okay, I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!